All right, welcome back to Keepin the Comic, and we're jumping into the first two new issues here of the new Justice League Unlimited series. And fam, let me tell you, what's going on here is absolutely wild. There is a new evil power right now calling the Justice League insignificant. Some of Darkseid's remnants are still causing chaos, and it looks like Martian the Manhunter here might be going on a villain arc. Just, oh my goodness. So where we start out here in this particular series is we have two separate Justice League teams, right, that are tackling different crises right now. There's Team Alpha, who is going to be headed out to Balhauser, South Africa. And then we have basically like another team that's going to be heading out here to Montverde, Costa Rica. Now, back at the Justice League headquarters here, the Watchtower, there's a new recruit here from Austin, Texas, and his name is Airwave, and he arrives here. And he steps into what is just absolute total chaos right now. Aquaman and a few others are rushing to one mission. You got Shazam and Stargirl off to another mission. And it's just a lot to take in overall. And then the Flash steps in and decides to offer Airwave a quick tour, which is him basically just grabbing him and speeding him through the entire headquarters. I'm telling you, it's wild here. And this serves basically as an update for us here on the current state of the Justice League, right? Now mentioning how they're now an unlimited team, integrating power, technology, and innovation, how every hero has a home on the Watchtower if they want it, how there's a golden room for the Justice Society, plus auxiliary headquarters here for the Titans, the Super Family, and plenty of other personal quarters here. Now, he also does mention this thing called the Atom Project, which is a team working to restore superpowers that were lost during the Absolute Power event, when many heroes got their abilities scrambled or nullified. Then he mentions Red Tornado, who is currently right now without his android body, so he's trying to rebuild that right now, and he's operating here as the AI and basically mission control here for all of these different teams. So whenever there's a mission alert that pops up, he's the voice that's guiding everyone here, and you can see it in this like red dialogue box, so the red text here and the white dialogue box here. So Flash brings Airwave over to Superman right in front of him, by the way, and the Red Tornado here alerts them to a crisis that's going on in Balhauser, South Africa, how there are mass casualties that have been reported here. There's unidentified WMDs that they're currently active. There's local military that's there, how they're being overwhelmed, and the casualty rates are rising fast. So they deploy here Team Alpha. Now, Team Alpha consists of Superman, Wonder Woman, Star Sapphire, Black Lightning, Kid Flash, and Firestorm. Now, they arrive there and there's total fire and devastation everywhere, right? And Red Tornado identifies the culprits as this group that's calling themselves the Inferno, which none of them know like who the hell that is, right? So what they're after, Inferno, is that woman then like leads Superman and Firestorm here to push back the drones while the rest of them they deal with search and rescue here, right? Now, they're confused because why the seemingly random mining town is being under attack. Red Tornado explains that Balhauser is a major source of iridium, which is more valuable than gold, and it's vital to electronics. And this is more about power than some simple theft that they're after. At least that's what he thinks here. So then Superman, using his X-ray vision, confirms that the attackers are drone operated, giving the League free reign to just go ahead and destroy them. Now, Inferno's goal, this is what Red Tornado thinks here, is that it's likely extortion. To be able to control a global supply of iridium means controlling a very critical industry. So that's what he thinks that they're after here. Then back here with Star Sapphire here and Black Lightning, we see them going to go save a wounded soldier, and Sapphire realizes that he's wearing a wedding ring, and then Black Lightning identify who this guy is. So what they're trying to do right now is that they're trying to find his wife, because what Sapphire wants to do is that she wants to try to kill him, but she can only do that if his wife is present. But to try to locate her right now is going to be rather difficult, right? Because you have everyone that they're trying to evaluate on this rescue mission here. So how are you going to find her in this massive crowd? Well, that's when an Airwave comes in and he volunteers to help. And what he does here is that he uses his powers to become basically electrical magnetic waves, and he's scanning phone signals here to locate her. And then Kid Flash rushes over his wife over back to the soldier that is currently wounded here. And then Star Sapphire, using her healing abilities, amplified by the love connection between the soldier and his wife, that is able to stabilize him enough for him to be able to survive. I just thought that this was really a very touching moment here. I liked it a lot. So then Wonder Woman, later on, she announces that the last of the war wheels are currently down, but then Superman hears something going off, like he hears a voice, and he finds a strange device that's buried in the ground, or that was on the ground here, and the voice issues a warning. It says, "This is only the beginning." It says, "Superman, we will strike again. The Justice League cannot stop us. We are the fire that transforms, and soon we will dominate the earth, and every nation, every person will beg for mercy." So then Superman responds with confidence and some cockiness here, boasting about the massive and the most powerful Justice League ever being created. And then the voice retorts back and is like, "You're insignificant. Your world, your league already belongs to us. You just don't know it yet." Now, meanwhile, while all this is going on here, there's another mission, right? There's another team that's doing their thing out in Mount Verde, Costa Rica. And that team initially starts off here with Batman and Blue Beetle. And they arrive there and they see no obvious danger, but the local police mention that something terrifying is happening that night. There are winged creatures with talons, and they're snatching up children, and they're disappearing over there in the forest. So they go over to investigate that forest, right? But the police can't really describe the beast because they said that it moves too fast. The only thing that they know is that it's flying over into that different direction there over in the forest. So then Batman contacts Red Tornado because when they get there, right, they see something really weird going on in the forest. And when they go further on into the forest here, you can see this like cocoon looking structures, but no one can identify exactly what these things are. So he tells Tornado, he's like, "Listen, we are going to need some hitters here, some heavy hitters." But then we jump back here over to Team Alpha that's just returning over to the Watchtower, and they're currently praising Airwave right now because of his clever thinking and his ability here to be able to save or help save that wounded soldier. Even Superman like officially welcomes him here to the Justice League. But then Airwave, right, he heads over to his quarters and he removes his mask, and then Homeboy just starts breaking down into tears. And then he starts saying, he's like, "They're so kind. They accept me for who I am. They have no idea what that means, or that I was sent here to kill them all." And I'm like, WTF is going on here? But let's jump back here to Blue Beetle and Batman, right? So back in Costa Rica, we see Blue Beetle calling out for Batman before this dude is just dragged away, like drag me to hell. He's just dragged away here by something unseen. All you see left is just glowing red eyes in the dark, right? That's it. That's all you see. And then we see, like, back out in the streets here, there's more winged creatures that are just swooping down and snatching up children here from the streets. It's total chaos. And while these children here are getting snatched up, that is when the new team arrives here. The new team, I should say, or additional members of the team here to help out Batman and Blue Beetle. And this team consists of Black Lightning, we got Dr. Occult, we got Martian Manhunter, we got Mary Marvel, we got Star Sapphire again, we got Superman again, Wonder Woman again, right? And they discover that these creatures here are parademons because Superman jumps through the portal. It's like, parademons, which confuses everyone because they're trying to figure out, they're like, well, Darkseid is annihilated, right? Well, we saw that from the All-In special. So like, why is these parademons here? So that's when Batman reappears, right? And this dude looks rough. Like, and Superman's looking at this dude like, "Yo, what happened to you, bro?" And then Batman explains that he and Blue Beetle, that they found a nest in the forest, which is basically like the secret lair of those alien eggs, and how he got knocked out. And then when he woke up, that Blue Beetle dude was gone. And even worse, the townspeople said that the creatures are currently stealing children, which we already know, of course, right? But he's just letting them know. And then Batman points them towards the nest, which is about a mile away. So what they end up doing is that they end up splitting here into 3 different groups. We got Superman, Black Lightning, Starfire, and Batman. They're staying on the block here to go against and fight against these demons. And then Martian Manhunter and Dr. Occult, they're searching for the missing kids. Then Wonder Woman and Mary Marvel, they're going to go find these nests. But then meanwhile here, back at the Watchtower, we got Mr. Terrific here and Stargirl and Red Tornado, and they're trying to figure out who Inferno is. and they find references here to something called Red Inferno, but there's no obvious connection. And meanwhile, Airwave is secretly eavesdropping here because remember, this dude does have an agenda, but nothing happens directly here in this moment. That's more of something that we're probably going to find out or see probably in the next issue here. But then when we go back to Mary Marvel here and Wonder Woman, Mary Marvel and Wonder Woman find the parademon egg nest, and it seems dormant and drained at the moment. And they talk about destroying it here, but Mary suggests that she could use her lightning, but they worry about the forest, right? Because if she does that, it's going to destroy the forest. Now, simultaneously, they both say, let's carry it into space. It was kind of surprising each other here because Wonder Woman later explains, she's like, listen, she has the wisdom of Athena, Mary has the wisdom here of Minerva, and they realize that their Greek-Roman pantheons overlap more than they expected. And as they lift the nest here skyward, there's a massive parademon that intercepts Mary Marvel and yanks her out of the sky. All right, so after this, right, deep underground now, we get to see what Martian Manhunter and Dr. Occult are doing. So they're tracking down the children, right? And they're using the mystic symbol of the 7. Well, Dr. Occult is using the mystic symbol of the 7 here. And Manhunter admits something that he hasn't told anybody yet, the Justice League, and he tells Dr. Occult here that he's lost some powers when the hero's abilities were scrambled, and how he no longer has some of his ocular functions, and how his telepathy is basically almost gone. And the reason why he didn't tell the Justice League this is because he feared that he would be sidelined. So what happens here now is that they encounter a single parademon guarding the children. Now, Manhunter thinks that all the parademons, that they're just mindless beasts. But then in this shocking moment right here, the parademon turns and looks at them and says, not really. So apparently this one is self-aware, and he claims that he was spawned on Apocalypse, of course, and that he was the first of his kind to have basically free will to a certain extent here, and how Darkseid exiled him here to serve in secret. And now the children are meant to be a bargaining tool so that he can prove his worth and then be able to return back home. But then Manhunter informs him that Darkseid is dead. So the parademon is stunned, right? He's like, he goes on to talk about, oh, this can't be, it's not fair. And Dr. Occult mentions how, based on Darkseid's death, that is probably what sent a shockwave that likely awakened the dormant nest. So with the parademon being all discombobulated now, he starts to attack Manhunter, and he's ranting about his years of imprisonment and loneliness. And the Manhunter gets furious and takes offense to what he was saying, because he's like, listen, how dare you use your pain for justifying the harvesting of children? And then the parademon, recognizing that Manhunter is also not a part of this planet, says to him, you have to agree that the human seed spawn are at best a commodity. So Manhunter, he shapeshifts right into the parademon and looks directly at him, and he's like, you are sick of being alone. Does this suit you to see yourself as I do? You're a monster. A monster. And before he could go on, like, Martian and Manhunter is whooping his behind, right? So then Wonder Woman arrives and she uses her lasso, and that is basically what calms down the Manhunter a little bit here. And Superman lets Manhunter know, he's like, listen, the kids are currently safe, and that all the parademons right now will be imprisoned, and that everything is okay. But listen, Manhunter is not okay. And this dude just basically kind of just flies off while going invisible. So we also find out here that Blue Beetle is currently recovering. However, like I said, Manhunter is gone, and Dr. Occult confirms that he was a victim of the power shuffling. And Superman is just like, yo, why didn't he tell them that this was going on? And now he's feeling like, listen, something is going on with our friend. There's a darkness that could spell trouble. And in my opinion, I'm like, this is kind of just setting up for Manhunter to go on a villain arc, is it not? Like, come on now. So we're left here with some pretty big cliffhangers, right? We got airwaves, secret mission to kill the Justice League. We got Martian Manhunter here, potential descent into like rage and despair and going evil. Then we also have these new threats like the Inferno, the counting mystery here, or the continuing mystery, I should say, here of Darkseid's leftover minions. And then the possibility, like I said, that Manhunter basically just lost his mind. Listen, what do you think here about these first two issues and their setup? Let me know down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown here, please leave a like on this video here for the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe if you're new to the channel so that you can keep getting these updates here every single week. And until next time, thank you so much for kicking it with Keepin' It Comic. Bye.